फोकल पॉइंट्स विशेषज्ञों के अंतरराष्ट्रीय नेटवर्क से जुड़े भ्रष्टाचार निरोधक प्रैक्टिशनर्स हैं। इस पहल का मकसद परिसंपत्ति को निश्चालित यानी फ्रीज करने, जब्त करने और चोरी हुई परिसंपत्तियों को बरामद करने के मुद्दों से जुड़ा है। इस छठे ग्लोबल फोकल पॉइंट सम्मेलन का थीम है एसेट रिकवरी इन इंटरनेशनल पर्सपेक्टिव और ये तीनों झंडे भारत का ध्वज, सीबीआई का ध्वज और इंटरपोल का ध्वज। इस वैश्विक सम्मेलन में 5 महाद्वीपों के 50 देशों के 100 से भी ज्यादा प्रतिनिधि भाग ले रहे हैं। और आगमन हो रहा है प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी का।
I would request Director CBI, Shri Anil Sinha, to present welcome bouquet to Honorable Prime Minister. I would request Director CBI, Shri Anil Sinha, to present welcome bouquet to Secretary General, Interpol, Mr. Jürgen Stock. I would now request Shri Anil Sinha, Director CBI, to present the welcome address. Shri Sinha joined the Indian Police Service in 1979 and was assigned to the Bihar cadre. Having rendered prolific services for more than 3 decades, he took over as Director CBI in December 2014.
Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, Honorable Minister of State for Personnel, Dr. Jitendra Singh ji, National Security Advisor, Shri Ajit Doval Kirti Chakra, Chief Vigilance Commissioner, Shri K.V. Chaudhary, Mr. Jürgen Stock, Secretary General, Interpol, Mr. Anselm Lope, Member, Executive Committee, Interpol, international delegates of 6th Global Focal Point Conference on Asset Recovery, delegates of 21st Annual Conference of CBI and Anti-Corruption Bureaus, members of print and electronic media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the organizers of 6th Global Focal Point Conference, CBI, Interpol, ED, World Bank, UNODC, and United States Department of State, and on my own behalf, I have the honor and privilege of extending a very warm welcome to our esteemed Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, to the inaugural session of the 6th Global Focal Point Conference. Thank you very much indeed, sir, for your gracious consent to inaugurate the conference despite your hectic schedule and other pressing commitments. While your original thoughts and dynamic leadership is shaping policies, your tireless pursuit of implementation is leading to a result-oriented action in all spheres. This annual conference focuses on developing synergies between the global anti-corruption community and a specialized training in asset recovery and confiscation-related technical assistance procedures. Your presence here today, sir, is not just a great honor to the organizers of the conference, it also symbolizes the government's unwavering commitment to bringing back black money and stolen assets stashed abroad. The agenda of the conference covers a wide range of topics related to asset recovery, including advanced themes in the field of dark web and virtual currencies. The schedule of the conference would be intensive yet productive. I'm sure your vision expressed at this inaugural session will serve as guidance for policy making and lawmaking in the arena of asset recovery. Honorable Prime Minister, sir, while welcoming as co-host of the conference, we express our sincere gratitude to you on behalf of all the organizers. It gives me great pleasure to welcome Honorable Minister of State, Dr. Jitendra Singh. I thank you, sir, for having spared your very valuable time to grace us with your august presence here this morning. I would also like to extend a very warm and hearty welcome to the National Security Advisor and Central Vigilance Commissioner, under whose guidance we shape our anti-corruption and security strategies. I respectfully welcome my friend and Secretary General of the Interpol, Mr. Jürgen Stark. Interpol needs no introduction, nor its CEO. I would like to thank Interpol and all the organizers of the World Bank, UNODC, and US Department of State for giving us the opportunity to host this conference and for recognizing India as a worthy partner in this global fight against crime and corruption. Mr. Jürgen Stark, after taking over as Secretary General, has given new vigor to the cooperation between Interpol and India, and we especially thank him in this regard. I would also like to welcome Mr. Ansim Lope, Singapore Assistant Commissioner of Police and Director of the Strategic Relations Directorate, Ministry of Home Affairs. I congratulate him on the election as delegate from Asia Interpol Executive Committee. A Stolen Asset Recovery Initiative, STAR, a partnership between the World Bank and the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, is playing an active role in providing knowledge input to the Global Focal Point platform. STAR works with developing countries and financial centers to prevent the laundering of the proceeds of corruption and to facilitate more systemic and timely return of stolen assets. I extend a hearty welcome to Mr. Honor Rule, Country Director of the World Bank, India. I would also like to extend a warm welcome to various participants and other distinguished delegates to the 6th Global Focal Point Conference on Asset Recovery from various countries and the delegates of 21st Annual Conference of CBI and state anti-corruption bureaus and representatives of foreign law enforcement agencies. The state anti-corruption bureaus are our valued partners in the collective action against corruption. Your presence here in good numbers clearly underscores the unique place asset recovery and tracking proceeds of corruption occupies in the agenda of law enforcement agencies across the world. It is an opportune time to forge partnerships, renew contacts, and discuss problems of mutual interest with counterparts. Finally, I extend a hearty welcome to all the distinguished guests assembled here for favorably responding to our invitation. Honorable Prime Minister, sir, Government of India designated CBI as the National Central Bureau in 1966 to liaise with International Criminal Police Organization, popularly known as Interpol, as its call sign for radio and wireless communication. In the past 49 years, CBI has been discharging a broad spectrum of activities and responsibilities that support the effective administration of justice and security of the nation by actively coordinating with Interpol in combating transnational criminal threats, be it fugitive tracking, be it seeking and providing informal and formal evidence and other investigative assurance from foreign jurisdictions, be it extradition or deportation of fugitive criminals. CBI has been at the forefront of facilitating international cooperation. To effectively discharge the significant responsibilities any crime places upon the investigator, there is an imperative need for constant upgradation of a skill set of investigating officers and law officers. The growing integration of India with global economy, digital agenda of the government, the emphasis on e-governance, digital empowerment, financial inclusion initiatives amidst the exponential growth of e-commerce and digital forces of social media, mobility, analytics, and cloud have substantially redefined the future challenges of law enforcement agencies. Looking to the future, CBI is trying to equip its officers with the capacity to handle the latest technology tools efficiently and effectively. CBI has already inked MOUs with institutions of international repute for interdisciplinary and intersectoral training, as well as capacity building programs for its personnel. Thanks to the Government of India's generous support, advanced certified courses for CBI officers in investigation and prosecution of financial crimes, as well as new and emerging crime genres, in conjunction with IIM Bangalore and National Law School Bangalore, has been rolled out this July. 555 investigators and prosecutors of CBI would be trained in the two eminent institutions. Sir, with your kind support and guidance, we are moving ahead to shape the CBI to the needs of the 21st century India. Our vision is of a CBI that is knowledge and technology driven and benchmarks itself with the leading law enforcement institutions in the world. Towards the end, we have sought support of the government in setting up an international center of excellence in investigation, an advanced technology vertical, and a forensic laboratory with world-class capabilities. This conference is a step towards our growing engagement with international law enforcement institutions. I am sure the conference will prove to be a milestone in evolving durable strategies to enable effective asset recovery. I also hope it will offer a rewarding and enriching experience to all of us. My heartiest congratulations to all the medal winners. We are all very proud of each one of you. I do hope that the international participants would enjoy their stay here in Delhi and would take some time to visit the historic city of New Delhi, which is home to some of the World Heritage Sites. And with this, I'm sure that you will have a comfortable stay here in Delhi. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. I would now request Secretary General, Interpol, Mr. Eugen Stock, to address the gathering. Mr. Stock has been supervising Interpol as its Secretary General with expertise since November 2014. He had abundant prowess as Vice President for Europe at ICPO, Interpol.
Your Excellency, Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi, Honorable Minister of State for Personnel, Public Grievances and Pensions, Central Vigilance Commissioner, National Security Advisor, Director of the Central Bureau of Investigation, CBI, Interpol Executive Committee Delegate for Asia, United States Ambassador to India, Country Director of the World Bank as representative of the World Bank UNODC STAR Initiative, distinguished participants from our Interpol member countries and representatives from international organizations and partner establishments, dear guests, ladies and gentlemen, Devio or Sajano. Good morning, Namaste. In the ancient Indian philosophy of Vasudeva Kutumbakam, as stated by His Excellency the Prime Minister at the United Nations General Assembly, rests the idea of viewing the world as one family. Now more than ever, this one family must stand united in its effort to prevent the repetition of what had happened against humanity in Paris last Friday, or in Beirut and Ankara recently, or in Mumbai in 2008. To help keep this family safe, a simple yet powerful idea was born around 100 years ago: to connect police forces across borders, across different cultures, across different political views, across the world. This, Your Excellency, Prime Minister, ladies and gentlemen, was and is the living idea of Interpol. And here today, as Interpol Secretary General, it is with a deep sense of honor that I address such a distinguished audience assembled in New Delhi, the majestic capital of India. This conference, organized among CBI, Interpol, and the World Bank UNODC STAR initiative, focuses on a key concern for law enforcement across all regions and continents today: asset recovery, which is an intrinsic part of the global fight against corruption and financial crimes, has become increasingly challenging in the 21st century, where just the click of buttons can lead to huge illicit flows across borders instantly. As proceeds of corruption cross borders, trust in leaders and public service could be undermined, criminal activity facilitated, and the perception of impunity created. On the contrary, the moment those proceeds return to the rightful jurisdiction that saw them stolen, justice will be achieved and closure will be reached. It is no surprise, then, that the 6th Conference of State Parties to the United Nations Convention Against Corruption has once again put this very issue high on its agenda. And just over a month ago, world leaders reached an agreement on a set of sustainable development goals, which included the objectives of strengthening the recovery and return of stolen assets, curbing illicit financial flows, and combating all forms of corruption and organized crime by 2030. Indeed, corruption and its gains today are interconnected globally in a way that requires a collective response from law enforcement agencies, strongly backed by the sincere political will of governments and global leaders. Connected worldwide to provide a secure, neutral platform for information exchange, the STAR Interpol Global Focal Points Network by now includes over 200 investigators and prosecutors from 120 countries. Interpol and the STAR have a dedicated program for the areas of anti-corruption, financial crimes, and asset recovery. Yet there is much more needed to be done. Interpol recognizes this and therefore strives to constantly upgrade its policing capabilities using innovation, an approach that India is extremely familiar with. Many would have heard of the red notice from Interpol's color-coded notice systems. Similarly, the creation of a new notice has been endorsed by our global membership for the tracing and recovery of assets from criminal activities. This is the Interpol's Silver Notice, and it will be entering a pilot test phase soon for assessing its effectiveness. The trails of financial crimes often reveal the interconnectedness between crimes of different types, stemming from different parts of the world, often with complex modi operandi at play. India and its police agencies undoubtedly have a vast experience in dealing with threats posed by transnational crime. Its police personnel have also often been part of UN peacekeeping missions in some of the world's most hostile environments. Such experiences at the national level must be shared over a neutral platform between nations, as much as should police information on crimes and criminals in a secure, timely manner, cutting across crime areas and regions. This holds true whether for countering terrorism and extremism, organized crime, or cybercrime. It also holds true for countries in Africa fighting Boko Haram or Al-Shabaab, or those in Central Asia struggling to contain the trafficking in drugs, or those facing the threat posed by foreign terrorist fighters worldwide, to cite examples. In the face of such complex global threats, international police cooperation continues to facilitate the exchange of law enforcement information, skills, and experiences across all regions. This is what Interpol has striven to do for almost a century, during which we have also witnessed outstanding cooperation with India since it became an Interpol member country in 1949. I must thank the CBI for their efforts in nurturing this relationship over so many years. Based on such strong associations with our member countries and a strong resolve, Interpol continues to strive at preventing what happened in Paris or in Mumbai. Because a globally united, strong response must be sustained even in the wake of economic challenges faced by many parts of the world, severely limiting resources for law enforcement. In conclusion, therefore, Your Excellency, Mr. Prime Minister, ladies and gentlemen, let me state that Interpol will strive to do what is necessary to meet the needs of its member countries, such as supporting cross-border initiatives in the realm of asset recovery. In doing so, when obstacles come in its way, Interpol will remind itself of the world as one family that is also a part of our world. It will look back at the difficulties it overcame in the past, but will look ahead for a future where visionary global leadership of the new century would support the cause of international police cooperation. Once again, it has been an honor to have been granted this opportunity. May I also thank the Indian authorities for their excellent hospitality and the CBI under Director Sinha's leadership for the professionalism shown towards organizing this important event here in New Delhi. I wish you all a very successful conference ahead. Although I'm told the food in this city is extremely delicious, so I hope we don't get too distracted. Thank you for your kind attention. Bahut Bahut Daniel Wad. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I may now request Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi to present President's Police Medal for Distinguished Service to officials who have been honored for their prolific services. I request Minister of State for Personnel, Dr. Jitendra Singh, and Director CBI, Shri Anil Sinha, to accompany the Honorable Prime Minister. Shri A.K. Sharma, Joint Director, Banking, Security and Fraud Zone, CBI, New Delhi, was honored on Independence Day 2013. Shri Tapan Jyoti Ghosh, ASP, Economic Offences Wing, Kolkata, presently Deputy Director Vigilance, EPFO, East Zone, was awarded on Independence Day 2013. Shri Kadayam Subramaniam Nageswaran, Inspector, Multidisciplinary Monitoring Agency, Chennai, was honored on Independence Day 2013. Srimati Neena Singh, IPS, Joint Director, Head of Zone, CBI, Special Task Force, was awarded on Republic Day 2014. Shri Rajvinder Singh Bhatti, Joint Director Policy, CBI, was awarded on Republic Day 2014. Shri S.P. Sankar, Additional SP, CBI, Economic Offences Wing, Chennai, was awarded on Republic Day 2014. Shri Balbir Jain, DSP, CBI, Policy Division, New Delhi, was awarded on Republic Day 2014. Shri Purandar Rothre, ASI, CBI, ACB Bhubaneswar, was awarded on Republic Day 2014. Shri Rajiv Sharma, Joint Director, Head of Zone, EOZ1, New Delhi, was awarded on Independence Day 2014. Shri Ramchandra Garvan, DSP, CBI Academy, Ghaziabad, was awarded on Independence Day 2014. Shri Abdul Aziz, Inspector, ACP, Cochin, was awarded on Independence Day 2014. Thank you, sir. Shri Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of India, renowned for his focus on reforming and modernizing India's infrastructure and government, has been applauded time and again for his initiatives like Swachh Bharat Mission, Make in India, Digital India, and Skill India. I may now request Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi to deliver the inaugural address.
His Excellency, Secretary General, Interpol, Mr. Eugen Stock, my ministerial colleague, Dr. Jitendra Singh, other dignitaries on the dais, ladies and gentlemen. I am happy to be here today to address the delegates of the 6th Global Focal Point Conference on Asset Recovery and the annual conference of CBI and state anti-corruption bureaus. I also extend a warm welcome to the delegates from abroad who are attending this conference. I hope that your visit to India is pleasant and memorable. I also congratulate the officers of CBI who have received medals for distinguished service today. Ladies and gentlemen, governments across the world work to transform the lives of the poor and the marginalized. Corruption is one of the principal challenges to that objective. We in India are currently in a crucial phase of a nation building. Our mission is to build a prosperous India, an India where our farmers are capable, our workers are satisfied, our women empowered, and our youth self-reliant. This is not an impossible mission. However, to achieve this objective, it is essential to fight relentlessly against corruption. India stands committed in its fight against corruption. Our government has taken significant steps to check corruption and the means of black money in a short span of time. The very first day that we assumed office, we constituted a special investigation team under the supervision of the Supreme Court to look into the issue. We have entered into agreements with many countries for exchanging real-time information on black money. The government has signed the intergovernment agreement with the United States to implement the Foreign Account Tax Compliance (FATCA) Act. This agreement enables Indian tax authorities to receive financial account information of Indians from foreign countries on an automatic basis. A comprehensive and deterrent law, the Black Money, Undisclosed Foreign Income and Asset and Imposition of Tax Act, has been enacted. It provides for stringent penalties and prosecution. We have also introduced a provision under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act for restitution of assets. This will enable millions of poor investors who have lost money in Ponzi schemes to recover a part of their hard-earned money. I hope that the partnership between Stolen Asset Recovery Initiative, STAR, and Interpol will help in confiscation and recovery of the stolen assets. I'm sure that this conference will go a long way towards elimination of safe havens for the proceeds of corruption and help build secure exchange platforms for recovery of criminal assets. Our recent initiatives to curb systematic corruption, such as auction of coal blocks, FM radio licenses, and FM spectrum, have eliminated the element of discretion in allocation of national resources. This has brought transparency in the system and restored faith of the citizen in government. It has also generated substantial revenues for the government which will benefit our people. Ladies and gentlemen, we are focused on providing system-based and policy-driven governance. A governance structure that is sensitive, transparent, and accountable. Let me share an example to illustrate how corruption can be eliminated silently and efficiently by simple technology and policy-based initiatives. When we assumed office, I was informed that cooking gas cylinders were being subsidized to the tune of approximately 400 rupees per cylinder. This subsidy was being provided to rich and poor alike. We decided that the subsidy should be credited directly into the bank accounts of consumers, with each account being linked to a unique Aadhaar card. The single intervention has reduced the number of registered consumers claiming gap subsidies by about 50 million. Subsequently, we also launched a campaign for the well-off to voluntarily give up cooking gas subsidy. The response has been very encouraging. As on date, more than 4.5 million people have given up their gas subsidy. Friends, one of the challenges that we must address is governance deficit. This includes inadequate capacity to deliver public services effectively and efficiently, lack of appropriate policy responses to emerging situations, and delays in project implementation. Our government had taken several steps to make the bureaucracy more efficient, performance-oriented, and accountable. The government is committed to ensuring probity among public servants and to protect them from frivolous allegations. Equally, the government is unsparing when it comes to punishing the corrupt. We have so far removed and ensured pension cuts of 45 senior officials of various services for unsatisfactory performance and delivery in public service. Ladies and gentlemen, globalization of organized crime poses a major threat to economies throughout the world. It is a well-known fact that dirty money drives out good money. Organized crime can hamper investment and economic growth. It can also infiltrate or acquire control of large sector of the economy. Illicit funding promotes organized criminal activities like drug trafficking, arms trafficking, human trafficking, and terrorism. The dastardly acts committed in Paris a few days ago are a grim reminder that terrorists have shown remarkable flexibility and adaptability in meeting their funding requirements. They derive funding from a variety of criminal activities, which includes smuggling of narcotics, bank robbery, vehicle theft, fake currency, or from state-sponsored and activities in failed states. Disrupting fund flows constraints the capabilities of terrorists and reduce their ability to execute attacks. This involves putting in place both systematic safeguards and targeted economic sanctions based on credible counter-terrorism intelligence. Targeting proceeds of crime is an important element in the fight against crime. Hence, there is an imperative need to focus our efforts to enhance international cooperation in the field of asset recovery for fighting crime, corruption and terrorism. Confiscation of property of offenders not only serves as punishment but also discourage commission of crime. In fact, Kautilya, in his Arthashastra, had suggested confiscation of illegitimate income as one of the punishment of corrupt public servants. I am also pleased to note that the heads of state anti-corruption bureaus and CBI will deliberate on the related theme of tracking proceeds of corruption. This 2-decade-old forum must not only focus on prosecution of offenders involved in corruption, but also modify the standard operating procedures to more effectively target the proceeds of corruption. Ladies and gentlemen, economic liberalism and globalization have drastically increased the ability to park profits of crime anywhere in the world. Today, proceeds of crime can be routed through dozens of countries within seconds. By a process of layering, the money trail can be concealed. Investigation agencies are limited by national boundaries. Our government is committed to the implementation of a uniform global standard on automatic exchange of information on a fully reciprocal basis. This will facilitate exchange of information regarding persons who have concealed their money in offshore financial centers and tax havens. Interpol is playing an increasingly active role in asset recovery. Since 2009, Global Focal Point Forum is actively promoting the exchange of corruption data among law enforcement agencies and anti-corruption entities worldwide. In this context, mention must be made of Interpol's initiatives such as ICOM, a secure web-based encrypted channel for the exchange of sensitive data among the specialized anti-corruption community. The new Interpol notice could add value to asset tracking investigation and facilitate real-time information sharing in complex cases. I appreciate the efforts of Interpol and its partners, World Bank and VN-ODC, in convincing the idea and giving leadership to this forum that has the potential to put an end to safe haven for the corrupt. I am told that excellent and proactive cooperation between Interpol and Indian investigative agencies has resulted in tracking of many fugitive criminals and their subsequent deportation for extradition. I would like this cooperation to deepen. CBI has been effectively assisting the Indian law enforcement agencies and their foreign counterparts in recovering the barriers that complicate the exchange of investigative information. I am also informed that CBI has been making use of Interpol tools and database for securing greater cooperation among law enforcement organizations throughout the world. It has also been consistently partnering Interpol capacity building programs. We are in the process of establishing an international center for excellency in investigation at Ghaziabad. This center will render world-class certificate course on investigation and prosecution in specialized and emerging domains of crime, including cybercrime, to the law enforcement community of India and abroad. A centralized technology vertical to focus on combating new age crimes like cybercrime is also being planned. There are several cases in the annals of Indian judicial history in which conviction was secured slowly on the basis of forensic expert opinion. India must therefore have adequate facilities to be able to clear the huge backlog of forensic opinion. The proceeds of crime and corruption are stolen assets. They do not belong to the country where they are stashed. They rightfully belong to the citizens of the country from which they have been plundered. I am well aware of the legal and procedural obstacles and differences in the evidentiary standards that hinder asset recovery. To overcome these challenges, police and law enforcement agencies should forge formal and informal relationships. I hope this conference provides all of you such an opportunity. I also hope that the delegates will seriously deliberate on devise proper procedures and protocols to quicken the process of tracking, identifying, restarting, confiscating and repatriating the stolen assets. I'm sure this conference will give a new light to the participants and to the world. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. I may now request Director CBI, Shri Anil Sinha, to present memento to Honorable Prime Minister. I may now request Director CBI Shri Sinha to present memento to Secretary General Interpol, Mr. Eugen Stock. Thank you, sir. The 6th Global Focal Points Conference on Asset Recovery will continue till 19th of November. As the inaugural session culminates, I request Shri Karnal Singh, Director, Enforcement, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, Honorable Minister of State for Personal Public Grievances and Pensions, Dr. Jitendra Singh, National Security Advisor, Shri Ajit Doval, Chief Vigilance Commissioner of India, Shri K.V. Chaudhary, Secretary General Interpol, Mr. Jürgen Stock, Delegate Executive Committee for Asia Region Interpol, Mr. Ansem Lopez, Director CBI, Shri Anil Sinha, distinguished guests from abroad, senior officers across the country, members of the media, it is my privilege to propose the vote of thanks to this august gathering on behalf of Central Bureau of Investigation and the Enforcement Directorate and on my behalf. Let me take this opportunity to convey my deep gratitude to the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, who very kindly consented to grace this occasion and has given a boost to our coordinated efforts to tackle the future challenges in crime. Sir, you have outlined the guidelines for us. You have outlined the mission for prosperous India, which will not be possible unless the corruption is eradicated. You have also outlined how the government is systematically hitting at the roots of corruption. The dirty money drives out good money. That's perfectly right, sir. And there is one more thing. The money, when laundered, it flies to the better countries rather than the countries where it is laundered. and therefore we need to eradicate corruption in our country. Technology and policy will certainly aid. And sir, I am thankful that a training institute at Ghaziabad would come up to train all the Indian law enforcing agencies, and it will be a world-class training institute. Sir, I assure you that we will work hard to eradicate the corruption and also work hard in the directions to hit out at the terrorism. Sir, we are truly honored and blessed with your presence. I assure you that CBI, Enforcement Directorate, and agencies across the nation will strive their best in tackling the menace of crime and terrorism. I hope that we come up to your expectations. I urge upon all the law enforcing agencies across India to pledge to eradicate corruption and fight terrorism. Thank you very much, sir, for your time and encouragement. I would like to place my sincere thanks to the Honorable Minister of State, Dr. Jitendra Singh, for his gracious presence at this inaugural session. Sir, we are indebted to you for your presence and guidance for this international initiative. My heartfelt thanks to the National Security Advisor, Shri Ajit Doval, who, with his untiring and relentless efforts, is determined to make India and the world a safer place. Many thanks for gracing the occasion, sir. I would like to further convey my sincere thanks to the Central Vigilance Commissioner, Shri K.V. Chaudhary, who has spared his valuable time to lend support to this growing international forum. I would like to place on record my deep gratitude to Mr. Jürgen Stock, Secretary General Interpol, who has taken a long journey and is present here with us for this inaugural session. Sir, your presence shows your commitment to the cause and the seriousness with which you would like the international efforts to be taken forward. Sir, the new initiative, that is a new notice for tracing proceeds of crime, started by the Interpol, will certainly help the law enforcing agencies across the world to trace the proceeds and to confiscate the proceeds of crime. We are truly honored by your presence today. I am also indebted to Mr. Ansem Lopez, Delegate Interpol, for his support and guidance. My next heartfelt thanks go to the organizers Interpol, United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, the Stolen Asset Recovery Initiative, and those of the US Department of State for working in close coordination with the authorities in India and making this global conference a success. A vote of thanks would not be complete unless the efforts of the organizing team, led by the Director of Central Bureau of Investigation, Shri Anil Sinha, are recognized. Sir, your commitment and tireless pursuit with authorities in India and abroad have made the 6th Global Focal Point Conference a reality in India. A deep, heartfelt thanks to you, sir. I am also thankful to the senior officers from central and state governments whose presence is very encouraging. My sincere thanks to the distinguished guests from the various countries who are present here today. The entire conference rests on the participation of our dear delegates. My thanks to all delegates. I am sure you will make the most of it. Last but not the least, my sincere thanks to our dear friends of print and electronic media. My congratulations also to the award winners. Once again, I thank you all. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir.
भ्रष्टाचार करके विदेशों में जमा किए गए काले धन और परिसंपत्तियों को कैसे जब्त किया जाए और देश में उसे कैसे लाया जाए, इन मुद्दों से जुड़े 6th ग्लोबल फोकल पॉइंट कॉन्फ्रेंस ऑन एसेट रिकवरी का उद्घाटन प्रधानमंत्री द्वारा किया गया। दुनिया भर में इस विषय से जुड़ी चिंताओं, चुनौतियों और भविष्य की राह पर इस सम्मेलन में चर्चा होगी। हम अब आपसे विदा लेते हैं। नमस्कार।